Hey everybody, it's what is today, Monday? It's every morning I gotta do this. Today's the 23rd. Is that the date today? It's the 23rd. So I gotta put that on here. Gotta make sure my dates are okay. Alright. Hey everybody, please jump on here real quick and see if we can get the show on the road. If you could tell me in the broadcast if the audio's clear so that we can do what we need to do so that you can do what you need to do. All right, it's going to be a bit of a tough one for me because I plan to say a couple of things that are very controversial, but I think they're needed. You know, desperate times call for desperate measures. Sometimes it's not always good to hide and bury your head in the sand. Sometimes it's important to face things as they are. I often say if you go to the hospital and you don't tell the doctor the problem, he's going to misdiagnose you. Or as we say in Zambia, misdiagnose. He will misdiagnose you and he will give you the wrong prescription. But if you are truthful with the doctor, if you have syphilis and you go to the hospital and you tell the doctor that you've got the flu, he's going to prescribe medicine that deals with flu. But if you sit down with him, look at him straight in the eye and say, "Doctor, I'm embarrassed to share this with you, but I have syphilis and I don't know what to do," he will prescribe the right medicine for the right ailment for the right result. And I believe this is where we are as a people in as far as the so-called mob justice. There's no such thing as mob justice in my view. The mob is anathema to justice. There's a good one for you. Let me say it again because I think that's important. The mob is anathema to justice, meaning the mob's values are opposite, are diametrically opposed to justice. You cannot use mob and justice in the same sentence. Okay, they are not one and the same. They aren't. So let's be honest. So here it is. I just want to double check my audio. Hey everybody. I always do that. It's what is today, Monday? Okay, good. I think we're good on sound. Do me a favor, for those of you that are watching this broadcast, please sling this broadcast to people that you think would be interested in this conversation. As things stand now, this is a national topic, as it should be. I know a few people have tried to sort of ignore it, sort of sweep it under the rug, pretend as if it's just one of those bad things that happens, and we'll get over it and we'll go back to the status quo. No, this is different because things similar to this over the years have been happening. But as I said in my previous video, with the advent of social media and with the reality that most people now have smartphones with a camera, with good audio, good visual, they record. We are now in a dispensation where we can see things happening for ourselves in real time. It doesn't mean that they never happened before. Many things have happened, not just in Kalumbila, but many places all over this country that have been swept under the rug in as far as so-called mob justice is concerned. This is a topic that administrations year in and year out have largely ignored. And they shouldn't. It is a cancer. It is a malignant cancer in our societies when you allow the public to feel so entitled, so self-righteous, that they would mete out the justice that they perceive as justice. I wrote an article not too long ago that the way the CBD is designed here in Lusaka, do you know that when a person has been accused of robbing or thieving, and the mob descend on him, and there's a police officer walking past watching the mob met out physical justice, do you know that I would dare say 99% of police officers will not respond to that fracas? A police officer who's walking through the CBD, and let me also mention, most cops in the CBD are not patrolling when they walk through the CBD. They're going somewhere or they're coming from somewhere. They always look like they're in a hurry to be somewhere. They never look like they're patrolling. Police presence in a police uniform is very important when it comes to keeping the peace and sanity in any community. Just the mere presence of a police officer in uniform, with a gun, with a partner, because cops should walk in a pair. In England they call it on the beat. On the beat means they're constantly around, they're constantly walking, they're constantly looking, maintaining peace, order, tranquility. Hey, that's the role of the police. In Zambia, the police don't do that. In the CBD, the job of the police, they are either coming from somewhere or going somewhere, and they look like it. They look as if they're going in a hurry. It's almost as though when you stop them, it's like you're disturbing their flow. Oh, bwana, iwe unikamisa chani nachedwa ni pano. That's the attitude. That has to change. And I see it every single day. And it's sad that most police officers who are supposed to be on the beat, who are supposed to be in a community maintaining peace and order, by virtue of the fact that they are the police, when mob justices, a so-called mob erupts in their form of justice, cops are blasé. Blasé. It has to change. And so here it is. You know the story. Sorry, I was on the live earlier, and I broke down a bit because, and I think this is the only way to look at this situation. When you have empathy, sorry, I just sprayed this insect killer in my office, and it's disturbing me. Just 1 second. Mwewa, may I have some water, please? Yes, please, to drink. Oh, that's a very strong brand of insect killer. I'm so sorry about that. I should have sprayed and left. I was talking about empathy. The only way, empathy means you put yourself in that person's position. When we watch that woman in Kalumbila being beaten, stripped of her dignity, stripped of her womanhood, stripped of her classiness as a woman, and when you begin to look at that woman as someone that is close to you, your mother, your relative, your aunt, someone that you love, it is only then you can have true empathy. But if you just look at that woman as someone, just an abstract, by the way woman, you won't feel it. When you watch that video, imagine your mother in that video. Then you feel it. Imagine your wife in that video. Then you feel. Imagine your daughter in that video. Then you will feel it. And so I believe that the crowd being what it was, and I'll say it again, just a bunch of young people that have no life, no education, dwanzi as hell, the most ignoramus, Neanderthalic people that you have ever seen in all of your life, who do nothing but have sex and drink the whole day and just hang around on the side of the street, shimikirari, telling each other tales. That's all they do. The narrative has to change. These big mining corporations, in conjunction with the administration, you need to pour in infrastructure, education. Come in, education, health. Here, Mama. Thank you.
Yeah.
School, health, infrastructure. If you don't have an educated population, that is the result there. That has to change. It cannot be business as usual. And when that false allegation was made by that young man, as I was saying earlier, there was no one in the crowd that had sense enough to ask, well, you claim that your genitalia has disappeared. Can you show us? Can you take your clothes off and let's see, before we go off and kill some innocent woman, before we brutalize and strip the dignity of this woman, before we do that, can we do this? Can we check you out? Nothing of the kind happened. The mob went into a frenzy, and they a thirst for blood. A thirst for blood. There was one video my wife was telling me, and I have to tell you, my entire family, we are so disturbed by this video. There's one part of the video. By this time, the lady's body she was dead. By this time, by the time they dragged her onto the street and they stoned her, they bludgeoned her to death. One young girl spread her legs and took a stick and poked her private parts and asked the crowd to name the private part. The decadence, the debauchery, the rot, the filth, the decadence of this community. And to think, these are young people. I mean, it doesn't make it any better if they were older, but the very fact that they were young, they were juveniles, young adults, performing such a barbaric, demonic, Gehenna-filled act. It just didn't make any sense to me. Made no sense whatsoever. And not a single person stood up to say, we're hurting this woman. We're going to kill her. Stop. Don't do that. Don't raise that rock. Don't raise that plank. Don't bludgeon her. Don't hit her in the head. Don't kick her in the neck. Don't do that. Not a single person did that. I'm pleased to hear that the chief has shut down business. Apparently he's closed down a market there for 2 months. Whether or not that's true, I don't know, because I mean, we're not there to check that. You know, in Zambia, it's very easy to say something, but you're not doing it. Okay? You know, I mean, if the chief, kudos to him, I mean, fine and dandy that he made that pronouncement, that he said, you know, we're going to close the market for 2 months because you guys don't know how to act right and you've brought embarrassment and shame on our community. That's fine to say that. I don't know. I don't know if that's true. I'd have to see that with my eyes, you know, because for all intent and purposes, I could go to Kalumbila today and I will find the market open. I guarantee it. The way I know marketeers, the way I know our people, marketeers, whatever na mayo mu market atileka, taleka, you have to enforce, you have to force them, not pakanwafye, pakanwati yole kid. Voila. I appreciate you, Chief. Thank you, Chief. But I would have to see that with my eyes for 2 months to believe it. They will do it for 1 day, 2 days, 3 days, not for 2 months. I wish they could shut the whole thing down, but I will tell you now, the way I know Zambians, voila, babe pedefie, yo 2 months yakakwane. It's just 3, 4, by Wednesday, bakesula, and there'll be people there. And nobody will care. Who from here is going to go verify 2 months? Kutina Besala. You tell me. Who is going to do that? No one. They won't care. But in the meantime, a woman's life has been brutally yanked from her. For what? For nothing. For nothing. Is life that worthless that you would snuff it out so easily? Is a woman's life so insignificant that you would simply put a line through her name and look the other way and act as if nothing happened? Really? Really? Oh, the decadence of it all. And to add insult to injury, the people over there in Kalumbila are so daft, they're so bereft of justice that when the police came to respond, to react, these jokers took rocks and they started hurling them at the police. The police with guns retreated. Something's wrong with this country, man. I'm telling you now. This is the rule. I want you to get this. Let me teach you on how it's supposed to work. Any threat to law enforcement, you are supposed to be cleared. Do you understand that? Let me say that again. Any imminent threat to law enforcement from the public, law enforcement are supposed to clear you. They're supposed to eliminate you. If you pick up a stone and you threaten a police officer in uniform with a weapon, that officer is supposed to clear you. Nimona Muzambia twangala kuti no ngatwabalasa, the opposition will take advantage and they'll say that government is killing people. No, man, do your job. Oh my good. Everything, we have to teach you everything. How the hell do you have a situation where people are pelting police officers with rocks? The police officers have guns and the police retreat for fear of playing into the hands of the opposition? No, if we shoot them, The opposition will take advantage and they will say, we are killing people. Clear them. Mow them down. Shut them down. That's why you are there, to keep law, order, and peace. Not fooling around playing patty cake, baker man, twiddling your thumbs, looking to the sky, holding hands, and singing kumbaya. Clear them. Mow them down. Cut them down. Every single one of them. Pile them up. Retreat. What is that? What is retreat? What is retreat? So why then are you there as law enforcement? The system and the public let that woman down. You let her down. And her blood is on your hands. It's not only on the hands of those Kalumbila demons, it's on society's hands. Today, a woman, an obscure, to you, she's obscure. To you, she's unknown. But left unattended, one day, that's going to be your mother. You're going to be at home looking at your phone, and you're going to be watching your mother being paraded through the streets, totally naked, and being brutalized and killed by a community that is bereft of sense. That's what it means. That is what it means. Brothers and sisters, Zambia is standing on the precipice. We are now standing on the edge of sanity and insanity. I've said it a multiplicity of multitudinous times, and I will never stop saying it, because I have now come to the realization this nation is not a Christian nation. It's only a Christian nation on paper. Okay? There is nothing Christian about this country. Zero. Full of the devil. Full of demons running around here, seeking whom they will devour. That's exactly what's happening. Police officers in Kalumbila, instead of you officers there chasing vehicles, finding cars, lining, instead of just chasing vehicles and making money from those roadblocks, can you serve and protect the people of Kalumbila? Can you do that? Is that too much to ask? Are we reaching? Is that what we're doing now? We're reaching now? We're saying too much? Or are we being reasonable when we ask you to do your job? Protect the public. Protect and serve the public. Protect and serve the community. Why is this difficult? Why is this a problem? I'm telling you, Kalumbila is a microcosm of what is happening all across this nation. Local government, police, IG, Zambia police, you need to nip it in the bud. You need to nip it. Go on a nationwide campaign. Be aggressive. Deal aggressively with the issue of mob justice. You're not dealing with it. You're kicking it around like a football during practice. Take off your gloves and do the real job. Get down to it. Fall on these people like a ton of bricks. Anyone that deviates from the law, anyone that incites anyone to do any type of violence, rain on them and fall on them like a ton of bricks. That's when they'll know. But if you keep walking around here and thinking the world is sunshine and rainbows, you got another thing coming. You're going to wake up one of these days and this nation is just going to go up in flames because of treating it with kitty gloves. There's nothing kitty glove about this. Nothing. And we're not going to stop talking about this. We're going to see this through. We want to see these young people go to prison. We want to see them go to court. We want the details of the trial. We want names. We want addresses. We want residence. We want to know everything about these kids. We want to know what they had for breakfast in the morning. And at the end of the day, when the dust settles and when the dew dries and when the judgment comes, we want to hear nothing but guilty as charged. Bring back the death penalty, I say. Bring it back. Bring back the death penalty, I say. Send them to the gallows until they are no more. They don't deserve to live. They don't. They don't deserve to walk amongst us. They don't. They don't deserve to be part of society. They don't. They don't deserve to be part of community. Clear them. Every last one of them. There's a ZNS base, Zambia National Service base, not too far from what happened there. Zambia National Service, you need to pull up your bootstraps. You need to be relevant. You need to keep up. Put your finger on the pulse. Be aware of what's going on in and around you and serve the community. Don't live in a bubble. Do the right thing. Protect people. Protect our citizens. That's what you're there for. And we will hold you to that standard. Well, we will. We will. It's time. It's time to hold you to that standard. It's time to hold the police to that standard. It makes me sick to my stomach when I see police officers retreat. And the police retreat. What dare I say, what if something bigger than that happened? Can you protect us? That is the question now we must begin to ask. If something calamitous, something gargantuan, something so mammoth, so big were to occur, can you protect us? If you are fearing just a small group of ignorant villagers with stones, with the amabwe, you are fearing them. If something big were to happen, can you protect us? Do you see where this is going? Tell me in the comments if you see where this is going. And can I just go ahead and throw this out to you? Okay? I hate the fact that all I see on the streets are young girls as police officers. What the hell is that? Somebody please explain to me how I see young girls, these are young chicks in uniform, as police officers? There's nothing wrong with girls being in the police. I have a problem with girls dominating the police, because there are certain jobs you need masculinity. You need a man. There are certain jobs only men should do. When the poop hits the fan, when calamity erupts all around you, and you need somebody to burst in and help you, you're going to send a bunch of girls? Is that what you're doing? You're going to send a bunch of young girls to the front lines to deal with issues. Don't allow the police service to be dominated by young girls. That's wrong. Wrong. There are certain jobs you need masculinity. That's what you need. You need a man that will stand tall, shoulders spread out, head held high, standing over you with authority and making sure that the job is done. Now, some of you ignoramuses, because that's what it is, some of you ignoramuses are going to sit there and say, no, that's sexist. It's got nothing to do with sexism. What I'm saying is, when things get rough, don't send a bunch of girls to the front lines. Don't do that. Don't send a bunch of pretty girls to the front lines. There's certain things that require men. Masculinity. That's what it is. Now, if for any reason some of you don't like what I'm saying, oh honey, who cares? Jump through this. Okay? Jump through this. Just understand that there's no way we can have the Zambia police force dominated by young girls. Everywhere I look, it's young girls. Everywhere I look, it's just young women walking around. Really? You're playing with disaster. You are. The other day, I was complaining about one of our neighbors was playing loud music at 22 hours at night. I went to the police station. There were 6 people at the reception. 5 of them were women, 1 man. 5 women, 1 man. What's going on? Don't get me wrong. Women can participate, but they should not dominate. Why? Because there are certain jobs that need masculinity as the dominant gender. Police, especially police. Police? You're playing around, man. I know this offends you, but that's my truth, and I'm going to stick to it. And the other day, I heard somebody say, well, if you take that position, it's going to affect your mayorship. Honey, nobody cares. Nobody cares about that. No one cares about the mayorship. What we care about is a system that functions. What we care about is that we as citizens have to know that when the poop hits the fan, we can be adequately protected. The system can adequately protect us from calamity. Not if you're mayor. Mayor what? Who cares about the mayor? I don't. Let's be real. Okay? Let's be real. In my view, the police should be dominated by strong males. Strong males. Not these youngs. Anyway, also proper men. Not but God, yonda and just walking around. No! Strong male dominant figures. Anyway, Nalanda, I feel so much better that I've said this. This whole weekend, my whole family, we've been so down and so downtrodden about this issue in Kalumbila. Today's the first time I feel a weight has been lifted, because that's been bothering me, man. It's been bothering me, and that's how I feel. Okay, but I do love you. Just so you know, I do love you. All right. Okay, thanks for watching. I gotta turn this thing off now. All right, let the games begin.